Bible Stories Illustrated, From Genesis to Jesus. If you are new to this channel, be sure to like, subscribe and ring the bell for all notifications for a 10-minute illustrated Bible story every day. In this video you will hear the story of Sarah, Hagar, and the son that changed everything forever. The story begins many years after God promised Abraham that he would have a son. But year after year passed, and nothing happened. Sarah was now very old, and the promise still seemed impossible. She watched other women have children while she remained childless. And slowly, doubt began to grow in her heart. One day, Sarah made a decision that would change the future forever. She called her servant Hagar and spoke to her with a calm but serious voice. Then she turned to Abraham and told him to take Hagar as his wife. Sarah believed this was the only way the promise could ever come true. Abraham listened to Sarah and agreed to do what she asked. Soon after that, Hagar became pregnant. At first, everything seemed peaceful, but the moment Hagar knew she was carrying a child, everything changed. She began to look at Sarah differently. She no longer saw Sarah as her master, but as a woman who could not have children. Sarah felt the change immediately. The tension between the two women began to grow day by day. What began as a quiet household soon became a place of anger and resentment. Sarah finally went to Abraham and demanded that he do something about it. But Abraham told Sarah that Hagar was still her servant, and the decision was hers. Sarah became angry and treated Hagar harshly. The house that was meant to bring a miracle had now become a place of pain. Hagar could not take it anymore. One day, she ran away into the desert alone. She had no food, no protection, and no clear idea where she was going. The desert stretched endlessly in every direction. The sun burned down on the sand, and the silence felt overwhelming. Hagar sat down beside a spring of water, exhausted and afraid. She believed she had reached the end of her life, but something incredible happened in that lonely place. An angel of the Lord appeared to her. The angel spoke her name and asked her where she had come from. No one had ever asked Hagar that question before. No one had ever cared enough to ask. With tears in her eyes, Hagar told the angel that she was running away from Sarah. But the angel did not tell her to keep running. Instead, the angel told her to go back. The message must have seemed impossible to hear. Yet the angel also gave her a promise. The child she was carrying would grow into a great nation. Her son would not be forgotten. He would grow strong and independent, and many people would come from him. Hagar realized that even in the desert, God had seen her. She gave God a new name that day. She called him the God who sees me. And slowly, hope returned to her heart. Hagar stood up, wiped the dust from her clothes, and began the long journey back. When she returned, the tension was still there, but the promise was stronger than the pain. Months later, Hagar gave birth to a son. Abraham held the child in his arms and named him Ishmael. The boy would grow up strong in the desert, but the story was far from over, because God had not forgotten his original promise. The true promised son had not yet been born, and the next part of the story would be even more surprising than this one. Because very soon, God himself would return to speak to Abraham again. And this time, the promise would finally become real. So if you enjoyed this story, make sure you like and subscribe. Because in the next video, you will hear the story of the day God returned, and told Abraham that Sarah herself would have a son.
Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to help spread the word of our Lord. Thank you.